Oh, and we're back. And what do we have here on the kitchen counter? This is a Steve Johnson tentacle alien, the real deal. And it's so cool. However, those of you that know this mask know it looks a little weird right now. The problem with this mask is this was in the Frankenshrine, and this was one of the poor masks down there that got caked with mold. So this amazing creature is gonna get a bath shortly, and I'm gonna show you how I clean this whole thing on this video. We're gonna remove all the mold carefully, show you what tools I'm gonna use, and we're gonna bring this incredible mask back to life. So take a good look. I got some photos I'm gonna put in here showing you better detail of this mold. What the fuck? Hey, get out of there. You don't need to go downstairs. Look, he opens doors. Want to see something crazy? Get out of there. Look how smart this cat is. Watch this. Open it. There you go. Watch it. He doesn't have thumbs, fucker. She tries, but she don't know how. He's the door opener in the house. I literally changed 10 freaking doorknobs in this house because of this damn cat. So he couldn't go in all the other rooms, lay on the beds, get hair on beds and shit. Like, no. Back to the amazing Steve Johnson tentacle alien. What year is this from? I can't remember exactly what year Steve made this piece. I'm gonna show you next. I'm gonna show you what tools we're gonna use, and I'm gonna do a time lapse, so it's gonna be fast, so you don't get bored to death with me cleaning this for the next 2 hours. All right, so are you ready to see the mold removal in action? Here we go. For those of you that have no idea who Steve Johnson is a legendary special effects makeup artist, master from Hollywood, California. Yes, he's worked on films like Videodrome, Night of the Demons, The Fog, Return of the Living Dead Part 3, Species, Eraser, Men in Black, Blade 2, like the list goes on and on and on. So having a piece of Steve Johnson's work here in this collection is everything. This is incredible. I had a different one of these earlier last year, or earlier this year, when I went to Wyoming. There was one of these in the collection from Ira Brown's collection. And it didn't have the tentacles on it, but it was a master copy, and that went to my buddy Dino's collection. He was so happy. The only reason I got rid of that one is because I knew I would be bringing Frank's home, you know, and this is from the Frankenshrine collection. This is a very special piece from Frank's. This was in a special portion of Frank's collection with all of his top pieces. This Steve Johnson alien was in the Frankenshrine's best of the best mask lineup, I should say. So this meant a lot to Frank. This is definitely one of his favorite masks. So I am so excited that I'm going to be able to show you guys what it really looks like. All right, let's do this. We're going to use water found at your local sink. We're also going to use these little metal brushes, these little things. I'm sure you all can find these online. I don't remember what they're called, but you can buy them by like the sack. You know, you can buy a bag of these at Harbor Freight. I like the ones with the more stiff bristles, like the lighter colored ones. The darker bristles are softer, which are great. But when mold is this thick, you're gonna need the thicker bristles. I'm gonna get some brand new ones out of the cabinet. Why are you in my chair? You're in my chair, you're in my chair, you're in my chair. All right, got some new brushes. Here's what they are, guys. You can find these online, and I'm sure anywhere online. Acid Shop brushes, okay? Heavy duty horsehair bristles. They handle everything from glue to oil to flux to cleaning mold off of rare masks. Let's do this. So, what I should tell you, what I did mention before is I'm gonna do this in time lapse so I don't bore you to death like I do on some of my videos when I don't shut up. No siree. We're gonna make this, we're gonna speed up the process for you guys. So basically, paper towels is another very important tool. I mean, that's about it. Water, paper towels, and these little brushes. And that's all we're gonna use. What the too much catnip. I gave them catnip and they've been out of their minds. All right, let's go to fast mode. All right, so far, I mean, it's looking amazing. It's coming back from that nasty, moldy appearance it's got. However, okay, what I should have said before I started this, 99% of the time, any mask you clean with water, the paint is gonna be fine. Usually there's acrylics used, and they're pretty much waterproof when they're dry. So I'm cleaning this area here, and I noticed there's a little bit of color on my paper towel here, which makes me wonder if inks were used on this mask, ink. So what I'm gonna do, I was kind of getting the brush pretty wet in this area. I'm gonna go and do a lot less water on it. Okay, I'm gonna dry my brush out a lot more, so I'm not caking it with water all through this snout. I'm gonna try to just get it off with a light, a damp brush like this, and just see if I can knock a lot of it off without getting it super wet. The water totally helps get rid of that damn mold, but we don't want to take the finish off. So, and you notice I took the canned air once in a while. Anytime if there's a lot of cracks in a mask and I think there's the paper towel's not pulling all the water up, I will go and just get heavy stuff out of any deep cracks quickly. You never want to keep blasting a mask with air. You're just going to dry that latex out, in time anyway. But we're going to try to clean this. I'm just going back and forth like this with those bristles, Unfortunately, like I said, I don't want to be let's get a fresh paper towel so we can see what's going on here with this pigment, So I'll just keep doing it like that. I'm sure can you see that? Yeah, you guys can see that. So, I mean, that is getting the mold off. And I'm using hardly any water now in this whole area. I don't see any pigment on my paper towel anymore. Okay. Like that. All right, we're gonna get a tiny bit of water. We're gonna dry it. I mean, it's so thick. This mold is nasty. And I want to add that if you're doing a mask like this, if the mold's coming off in a cloud, put a mask on, put a paper mask on, so you're not breathing that shit in, those spores. This is pretty much not in the air, I don't see anything floating off of this. I'm just
getting it with the damp tools. But all right, so far, let's see. I don't see any pigment of any sort. Like, I don't think that was mold that was turning that color. I think it was somehow picking up some slight pigment off the mask, but you can't even, you know, thank God this is a mask where you will not be able to tell if anything was lifted, because it's, you know, the design of the paint job. I'm just gonna keep slowly going at it. It's coming off easier than I thought. I mean, it's really thick, but it's coming off. The water helps so much, like I said. And I like to dry as I go. I never want water sitting on a mask for a long time. You know, like I said, acrylics are usually pretty damn waterproof. I've washed a lot of masks. I put them in the sink, run them under the sink in cases, and then, you know, the paint doesn't come off. I used to paint all these punk jackets, leather jackets, with acrylics, and I mean, they'd be waterproof. They'd be in the winter, in the rain, in the snow, and this stuff does not come off. So pretty familiar with the durability of acrylic paint. This I got a little damp just because it's such a tough area. Doesn't look like any colors coming off, so that's good. And you know, you don't want to damage anything, so if it's really tough to get off the first time, don't hit it hard. Do several attempts, you know. You're getting it off a little more each time. You know, this is an old mask. We don't want to fruck it up. Man, I can't wait to see this thing clean. All right, let's go back to fast mode. I'm going to get the whole neck. I kind of want to do half and half. So I'll flip the moldy side around, show you the clean side, all right? All right, let's go. All right, guys, so we're taking a break, and I want to show you the difference here. So here's the moldy side, the other side we didn't clean yet. Check this out. Look at this difference. Is that cool or what? That cool old paint job is still there. And as you can see, I don't know what that was on that one paper towel. On one paper towel, I got a tiny bit of, you know, slight pinkish color on it. All of the other ones don't have nothing on them. So there could have been some kind of ink work. I don't know. It kind of looks like inks to me. Like this thing was done in inks, possibly. But I mean, it's totally holding up to water. You can see it's not coming off of the mask, and it's all in great condition underneath. What a cool look to this mask. But you know, it all looks great. I'm gonna keep on going. I'm gonna finish the other side, and then I'll concentrate on the very front tentacles, getting them clean. In the end, I'm gonna have to take this thing off the pedestal, probably put them upside down in my lap so I can get all underneath these areas that we can't see standing up like I am. So, but I wanted you to see, you know, if you ever have a mold problem, don't lose your mind thinking your masks are totally ruined, because as you can see, the mold is easily coming off of this mask. And we're making him beautiful again, right? And I'm just being very careful with the tentacles. I'm getting it a little damp. They're holding up well, no colors coming off, and I just kind of squeeze them a little bit with a dry paper towel, and then I blow them with air. But as you can see, look at that. That's the nasty mold side. And here is a kind of a half and half look. You know, the clean side, the moldy side. So, pretty wild. All right, let's finish this sucker. I've been going for a good half hour on that one side just to show you how much time I've been spending on this mask. So far it's been about 30 minutes roughly. So I'd say a good hour to hour and a half, I'll have this mask pristine once again and ready to go into the collection. All right, guys, so far it's looking great. And if you see me like stopping and giving you thumbs down, that means like stop with the water. As soon as you see, you know, some form or little sign of a possible pigment on your towel, you know, you're lifting something a little bit. So I instantly stopped with the water. I dried it. That's why I'm drying. I'm constantly drying as I clean. I don't want water sitting on the paint job. Even though I said a lot of acrylics will be pretty much waterproof, I just have a good habit of drying them instantly. And if there's big cracks in masks, use your air. You know, just get it, pat it, spray it, pat it, get it done. But I think now we're to the point with this thing. I would say, you know, 80 to 90% of the mold off. I think once I flip this upside down, I'll probably see all kinds of patches where I just couldn't get to them, you know. So I am going to lift the tentacle alien off of this nice wooden base and give him his final cleaning. He's foam filled, thank goodness. So, what a nice piece, huh? Look at that old foam, huh? I told you, old foam is orange. Oh, I wish there was a signature or a number or a date inside the mask, you know. All right, let's get the camera down here. You could see, obviously, there's spots that I've missed underneath, even up under the front of this thing, which looks like a lobster to me, for sure. The back here totally needs cleaning underneath. Look at your edges, your hard edges. Even here, you'll see on these hard edges, I'll have to go over those with my brush because there's still a little mold in those creases. But this thing's looking amazing, you know. another 30 minutes or so, I'll probably be done with the whole mold cleaning. And sometimes, you know, if there's zero pigment coming off a mask, this one, like I said, I saw a couple areas around the eyes and stuff. But if there's zero pigment coming off, I'll take a very light, damp cloth, paper towel on the end, and go over it without a brush and just wipe off, because there's going to be, you know, mold we're not seeing, just residue, like a film almost. I want to clean it really good. I may still do that in some areas, but look at that great coloring. That totally looks like an ink job on this sucker. All right. Held up good though. I mean, I barely took, if anything came off, it was barely anything at all. So, all right, I'm gonna get some new paper towels ready. I'm gonna go get me a new little bristle brush ready. A new brush. Fresh paper towels. I'm gonna clean my water, and I'm gonna take that sucker, put them in my lap upside down, and finish cleaning the underneath of this thing. So, I'm gonna stop the camera for now, and then when it's all done, we're gonna take him down to the mask room and check out the final clean tentacle alien. Are you ready to finally see the fully cleaned Steve Johnson tentacle alien? Here it is. So look at that. I'd say I had this thing clean from start to finish in under 2 hours flat. Simple water, those little brushes, paper towels, and a little canned air certainly went a long way and got this thing looking fantastic again. I'm going to turn him so we can see, you know, all the views of this crazy creature. One thing I want to mention is, you know, once I discovered that this thing was painted with ink, I slowed down instantly on the areas where it was slightly lifting, like I said, and just right away cut the water down to 10% on the brush. Like it was so almost dry, but not quite, just to help pull that shit off. Simply dry brushing it, it would take forever. So a little dampness helped get that heavy mold off this thing. That being said, every other mask I have had to clean from the Frankenshrine that had that mold on it, I did not run into that problem at all. So every mask I've cleaned up to this point, nothing was pulling off the surface. So anything painted with acrylics, I'm going to tell you right now, you will be, I'm telling you with confidence, don't worry about pulling paint off. But with inks, I'm learning that you got to be a little careful. You know, you could tell an ink paint job versus paint when you start seeing how soft it blends together, and like it just looks so different. You know, more realistic in a way. You know, like skin tone and whatnot. But what a badass piece this is. I am so excited because I waited a long time to get this mask here. I had that other one that went to Dino's collection, and I knew in time I would bring Frank's back, but it needed serious cleaning. And man, it came out. God, there's masks everywhere in this place. I have to do a serious rearranging and cleaning of this whole room. I'm embarrassed to show you. There's masks all over the floor again. But what a beautiful piece. And none of this came off. You know, you could see it's all there. A little bit lifted off on that paper towel, but not a big deal at all. You would never know. You know, there's no way of seeing that. So let's look at the back. What a cool vintage piece. So, all right, everybody. Oh my God, get out of here. Get off my foot. That's enough for tonight's episode. I had the phone interview tonight with Mr. Jordu Shell, great things coming for that episode. It's gonna be really, really cool. So I'll probably film it tomorrow. I'll probably clean tonight and prepare for that shoot, because that's gonna be a really, really cool episode showing you vintage pieces from the old days of Jordu when he was 18 years old making his first masks. All right, so we will see you soon, and good night.